LeBron James all the way in.
Here comes Simmons the other way, 3-on-2. Simmons eludes the defender and lays it in with that.
Certainly the length altered that shot. Out of the quick steps. Crutches.
Play right there. Porzingis from Jennings. Throw down and a foul.
Irving, splits the defense with the dribble.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Bernie here, back at you again with yet another video. I hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas vacation. I know me and Peter did, but I think this is going to be the last video before me and Peter actually do a video together. Maybe there's one more, I believe, but anyway, it's going to be coming real soon. Me and Peter back on the charge again. But today, I just wanted to talk about the last two games, actually tonight's two games, the Celtics versus Houston Rockets, and along with the Portland Trail Blazers versus the Philadelphia 76ers. You can see Shaq, Ernie, Kenny, and Charles talking about it in the background real quick before they go to commercial break. But I'm here to just talk about the two games and then talk about a little bit about what happened this Christmas. So if you guys don't know, the Celtics and the Rockets played today. The big controversy about this game really was that it was a two-man crew. So if you guys don't know, one of the referee crew members had a back spasm and couldn't go. So it was only two refs. So basically you had a baseline ref and then you had a sideline ref. There wasn't another ref on the other sideline. So, you know, of course, some of the calls weren't going both teams' ways. And I think the crazy thing about this is that the Celtics had not the Celtics. They were down 26. The Rockets had a 26-point lead that they blew. They blew that lead away. I was watching the game on the plane because I just came back from a trip that I was taking, and I just saw the game on the screen. You know, salute to Delta for having the game on the plane itself. But I was like, there's no way the Celtics can come back. They don't really have the three-point shooting is not really there. Jaylen Brown's missing, and Jason Tatum and Kyrie Irving are not playing well, even though Kyrie Irving had a pretty decent game comparing him to the other players. But like I said, I mean, this was a crazy game. Kyrie Irving had 26 points. It didn't feel like he had 26 points, but he had 26 points. And, you know, this team is really not a team of it's a team of sharing the ball and passing the rock. And at the beginning of the first quarter, it was really just one-on-one stuff, which I was very disappointed in because it's not a Celtics way of playing. They play very Spurs-esque, so, you know, you expect passes here and there. But, of course, you know, that didn't happen at the beginning, and the Rockets just got away with it, especially James Harden and Eric Gordon. I believe those two were the big contributors to them having two 30-plus quarters in the first and second. Sorry, but what really led the turnaround was the last two quarters for the Celtics, both having 30-plus point quarters. So in the third quarter, they held the Rockets to 16 points, and in the fourth quarter, they held them to 20 points. Of course, James Harden led the way with points with 34, Kyrie Irving with 26. And something I'm very disappointed in, Al Horford with 8, PJ Tucker with 9 in terms of rebounding between both teams. And then James Harden had 10 assists, Marcus Smart had 5. But James Harden had 8 turnovers, and the crazy thing about this game was that the fact at the end of the game, you know, Celtics down 3, they score quickly, down one or something like that. James Harden, you know, it kind of reminds me of the time that he elbowed Meta World Peace in one of the, I don't know if it was like a playoff or a conference final, but I just remember them having the same situation where James Harden basically elbowed Meta World Peace in the face, and it was an offensive foul. I think the same thing happened here. Again, James Harden got a little bit too aggressive, and Marcus Smart selling the hell out of it also created this kind of sequence where the refs just called an offensive foul twice. They called an offensive foul twice on James Harden, which led to them losing the game 99-98. Of course, furious at this because James Harden 8 turnovers, wasn't a very good game from him. And basically, let me read you what he said after the thing. So he said, well, first of all, I'm wondering, well, how do you only have 2 officials on the national TV game? That's my first question, Harden said. And I think in a way that he is right. I do believe that it was really unfair to have only 2 refs because you can't really see all the fouls. Even though, to be fair, I felt like the Rockets really got the majority of the calls in the game. And I really thought this was going to be another game where the Rockets, with James Harden being an unstoppable monster, along with Eric Gordon, who played well at the beginning of the game, but fell off at the last part of the game. And maybe That's the reason why they brought in CP3. But again, it begs the question, I question the move. Peter doesn't. I question, if Chris Paul is not going to be out there because of injuries, is he really reliable for this team? I enjoy the Rockets. I think they're a great team. I think they have the best chance to dethrone the Warriors. They both can go punch for punch, 3 for 3. But in the end, it all comes down to closing the game. And right now, I'm not really seeing anybody step charge. Players take charges against James Harden. They get the call. We saw Marcus Smart get the call right now. This all comes down to what the Rockets need to do internally. I do believe that they play better defensively than they used to, but it all comes down to closing. And if Chris Paul's not there to help close the game, then I'm worried for the Rockets, because we all know Chris Paul has a history of getting injured. So that's my only concern with the Rockets. As for the Celtics, again, what led to our 16-game winning streak was the fact that we were able to come back from behind and win games. Not something I really look like in a team where you come back from games when you're down by almost 30 or 26. I think it was 26 as the highest point of the game. I just don't want to see that from our team, because I think we're better than that, and I think we should be better than that, but right now we're not playing like it. I do think we have a few missing pieces. Our three-point shot isn't there, and our rebounding, especially from our bigs, is not there. Baines and Al Horford are not getting majority of your rebounds, so it's up to the wing players and the point guards to basically crash the boards and help rebound, because no one else is going to rebound for us like a Hassan Whiteside, a Marc Gasol, or anybody of that nature, Joel Embiid. No one's going to rebound the ball like they will on our team, especially from our bigs, so we have to rely on everybody to rebound the ball for us. But in the end, this was a very good game, awesome to watch. Great fun entertainment, especially since the Christmas games that we had this week. Just an awesome experience game. I love it so much. And, we move on to this next game where it was Portland versus Philadelphia. Of course, Philadelphia got up to a hot start. Joel Embiid playing very well in that matter. But, what came down to was Nurkic. Nurkic came down, and I think he had like 20 points, I believe. He played really well. Nurkic was one of those dudes that balled out. Even though CJ McCollum had the game of his career, 34 points, 9 for 20 shooting, 14 for 14 at the free throw line. Joel Embiid also had a great game, 29 points. So it's not like he did very bad. He had 9 rebounds to Nurkic 12. And Ben Simmons had 8 assists compared to CJ McCollum's 4. But basically, this leads to a very inexperienced Philadelphia 76ers team. And I think it's going to take more than JJ Redick to kind of get this team veteran ready. And, Charles Barkley, as we're watching here, he had brought an interesting point. He said he'd be very disappointed if the Philadelphia 76ers don't make the playoffs for all the talking they've done about trust the process. And I do agree to an extent. I think it will be disappointing because we enjoy Joel Embiid on the channel. He's one of our favorite players, along with Giannis and Kristaps. But at the same time, they're a young team, so we can't really expect a lot out of them. They'll have some boneheaded decision plays. They'll make some boneheaded games where they lose a couple here, they win a couple here. I just think it's going to be very inconsistent right now, but as soon as we get later on into the season, I think they'll be okay, especially going into next season, because I don't think anybody's really out of contract because this team is so young. So we'll see where it goes on from here, but again, I'm excited for this team. This team has proved a lot over the last couple days, what they can do and what they've shown. But this really brought up an interesting question and point that they brought up at the halftime of this game between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Trailblazers, was that Joel Embiid is not really practicing with the team. And now that I have that information and now that I know that, it's a little bit of a red flag for me in the terms of, like they were talking about, Joel Embiid, as great as he is in game, he needs to do it in practice as well. I know he misses back-to-back games, so he can't really play in them, but I think he needs to challenge himself, and Shaq said it to him that he wants to challenge him to actually practice. Because if you don't practice, you're not going to get better at the moves that you're doing. There's certain situations where you can practice for certain game scenarios, like they did tonight. There was a shot where he had You know, he's posting down Nurkic in the clutch moments, 3 minutes left to go, and he just threw up a wild shot. I mean, there's got to be composure, there's got to be time, and that comes with practice. You come up with new moves, you come up with different moves, you come up with ways to kick it out to players, so you're not just in-game, 5-on-5 pickup ball. That's what you're feeling it. But, I don't want to harp on them too much. I do believe that the Trailblazers are really good. Another team that should be better than what they are. I think they're in the 8th seed right now. I think I had them really high, like 4 or 5. So I'm a little bit disappointed in their production. But today was another step forward for them. CJ McCollum doing it by himself along with Nurkic. Nurkic had the game of his life after taking a hit to the nose, bloody nose, complaining at the ref. I understand why he would complain to the ref. But, I mean, we're here now. The Portland Trailblazers won 114-110. And I just want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Joel Embiid is one of those players that can do anything in terms of, does he need practice to get better, or is it just one of those things where you actually have to go to practice? We have situations like that in our everyday lives when we were teammates, when we were players, when we were coaches, whatever it is. We have those players that are really good in the games, but, we deal with players, that have certain situations happen to them where they can't practice every day. And that kind of sucks because as a player, as a coach, as a friend, you really want them to get at it and get better. But if they're not there to get better and work on certain situations, then they're going to just remain the same player. They're not going to plateau. And that's what Kenny Smith brought up with Joel Embiid. Because if Joel Embiid just goes on this, linear path to where he misses back-to-back games and he doesn't practice, he's just going to stay at this level. He's never going to get to the tip top, the cream of the crop, as Macho Man would like to say. And that's where I want to see Joel Embiid. I think Joel Embiid has all the tools. He has all the potential in the world to get better at his craft. But if he doesn't want to put in the work, or if he says that, I don't really need to practice because we're talking about practice, then he's never going to get better. And that's where I think we need to do, we need to hold Joel Embiid accountable to practice. And hopefully he does practice. I hope what these guys have said on national TV, I guess they're not on right now, it's a commercial. But, I hope what they sold about Joel Embiid, hopefully he brings it to heart and actually does really well in it. But, I mean, we're going to see where it goes on from here, guys. I'm very curious to see if Joel Embiid can practice, if he is able to do what he's able to do. But what do you guys think? Do you think, like I said, is it one of those things where he's good enough to play without practice, or does he need practice? If you were in that situation, you were the coach or you were a teammate, would you want him to practice? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments down below. And other than that, I want to save another video. I want to talk about the new NBA City jerseys because I was very disappointed that they didn't have any Christmas jerseys. So look for that video coming out either tomorrow or Saturday when we talk. Hopefully me and Peter can link up on Saturday and talk about it. But anyway, guys, this has been your boy Bernie here talking about today's Thursday night games on TNT. Celtics, Houston Rockets, 76ers, Trailblazers. It's been an amazing ride so far, guys. We also have the Christmas games. I probably should talk about them. Let's talk about them real quick. Golden State versus Cavaliers. Good game. Awesome game. And we'll talk about it later with Peter because I would love to discuss what Skip Bayless and everyone on Fox Sports and ESPN is talking about. Kevin Durant is now the best player in the NBA. But do you guys think it was a foul on LeBron James? Yes or no? Let me know that in the comments down below. But anyway, guys, this has been your charge extra. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We're on the road to 50 subscribers. We're 9 away. So if you guys could really hit that subscribe button, that'd be great. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode of The Charge. So peace, guys.